Hello everybody and welcome to this Wednesday. Today's Wednesday and we have I call them in-law horror stories, but horror stories is like a heavy way to put it, but these are just in-law isms, things that I'm experiencing with my in-laws that I'm witnessing regarding my in-laws that I'm just like, I don't know, I feel a certain kind of way about it, and that's why we're going to talk about it today. Okay, and to preface everything, I just want to say that they're not officially my in-laws yet, and B, this is all lighthearted fun. I know I get heated about these things, and I will, but they are good people. They don't harm anybody, and it is not as serious as it may appear, but you'll see. So we are going to start with the most recent one that has happened, and just walk with me because there is a lot going on here and it is probably pretty confusing. But anyway, so my boyfriend just got back last night from California because he has a brother that lives out there, and the reason that he went out over there is because his brother had some sort of like roof issue, and he wanted my boyfriend and one other brother to go out there and help him fix it. Now, there is a lot wrong here because it's not like we're going down the road. He's asking him to take time off of work to go fly out there and work for free. Sure, it's family, whatever. Still, I don't agree with it, but let's move on. Let's keep walking. This has been going on since, I want to say, March. Like, these plans to have him go out there, and I think it was March because I remember they wanted him to fly out in April, but we had a very busy April. And the thing is, we're very busy people. Anyway, so it is September and he just got back from his trip. The way I see it is, if you're asking your family to do this favor and they say, no, I can't do it, and and none of the times that you're coming up with are like available times for your family that you want to go out there, okay, then I'll just get it fixed myself, or I'll fix it myself, or I'll hire somebody to do this. But no, he just postponed it until now. Like almost a whole year of postponing. For what? And here's the thing too. My boyfriend is not a roofer. My boyfriend does not know how to change a roof, how to fix a roof. I don't know exactly what they did, but it sounds like they just replaced the entire roof. So that's another thing where I'm like, why? It's not like my boyfriend can like offer a skilled perspective. Like, y'all are just gonna throw stuff at the wall and see what sticks here, and watch a bunch of YouTube videos, I'm assuming. So whatever. And maybe I'm just wrong in all of these situations. Maybe I'm just seeing it in a very particular way, and maybe I'm the one with the incorrect perspective. But another thing is, my boyfriend he used to live out like in California, so since he's known about this trip for a long time, he was like, oh, I'm gonna do this, he had like a list basically of things that he wanted to do, food that he wanted to eat, things that he wanted to things he wanted to do while he was out there. And they literally had him working from sunup to sundown every single day that he was there. So my poor boyfriend did not get to do a single thing that he wanted to do. And he says it's not a big deal. Obviously, like, it really isn't a big deal. The point of him going was to help his brother, and he did that. But still, that made me really sad for him, because I know that my boyfriend could have put his foot down and have said, like, I'm gonna take today off or whatever and do this. But you know, it's an awkward position to be in. And so I understand why he didn't, but I still feel really bad. His parents also tagged along and went with him, and they're still out there. But my boyfriend was always scheduled to leave on Tuesday. Well, Monday, my boyfriend texted me and he's like, I think I might stay a few more days, or at least one more day. And I was like, okay, but why? And I feel like I already knew the answer, but like I just wanted to see if maybe I was wrong. But no, of course his family was pressuring him to stay. They do this every single, even if we're going over for lunch, they pressure him to stay longer. And because it's all about family and it's just overbearing, but that's a different discussion. Anyway, they were pressuring him to stay. He told them no, and there was a particular incident where tell me this isn't like a red flag. He was sitting at the table with his family and they were all talking about it, like, oh, you should stay, and he said, no, I'm not, I'm gonna go shower. Like, literally, this was like an hour before he had to be at the airport. They were still all piling on him and telling him, like, you need to stay, you should stay, whatever. He literally said no, walked away from the table and said, I'm going to shower so that I can go to the airport in an hour. And apparently, like, the minute he walked in and was like by himself, his mother, who was 10 feet away from him outside, who just heard him say, I'm not staying, calls him on his cell phone and tells him that she thinks he should stay because this is an emergency, and like that fixing the roof is an emergency and that he needs to stay. Like, totally, tell me that's not like red flag manipulation. Like, what do you mean it's an emergency? Like, stop. No, it's not. Like, and my boyfriend, I think, was really like upset by this whole situation, to be honest, because when he called me the minute he got dropped off at the airport and literally was just like ranting about how uncomfortable they had made him feel for like pressuring him. He's like, literally every corner I turned, there was somebody saying, oh, we can't get you to stay, or like, why don't you want to stay, and I just, I hate being in that position. And usually my boyfriend is like very patient, especially with his family, but for him to like immediately be like, oh my god, that was too much, I'm like, that must have been really a lot for him. So I felt really bad about that. Anyways, he is back, and I just don't understand this entire situation in principle. It doesn't make any sense to me why you would inconvenience somebody, because it is an inconvenience, no matter how you try to put it, to invite somebody out. Sure, he paid for the flight, but still, like, it's just, and then like to ask him to stay longer, and I hate the frugal mentality there, where it's like, I'm guessing he's doing this to be cost effective, but I'm like, it's not worth it. You're putting people in awkward positions and inconvenient positions where you feel like you can't say no, and like you don't really have a good like in this case my boyfriend doesn't necessarily have an excuse to not go, which also I think is just like, why can't people just, if I'm busy for the entire summer and now it's September and this is the only time that you could find me without a busy weekend, like, it just, do you understand what I'm saying? Like, does that make sense to anybody else? Like, it's just so frustrating, so annoying. And like, I put myself in this situation where I'm like, and I was telling my boyfriend, I'm like, because he was trying to be positive about it, right, and like see the good side, and he's like, well, this is like useful, so like whenever our house may need something like of this sort, maybe I'll have some sort of experience now. And I was like, no, we're above fixing our roof, you know, like, we don't have to fix our roof. That's what you make money for, to pay other skilled people to do this work over a weekend and get it over with and done, and that's it. And that's all it really had to be. I don't believe that this is a financial thing. It was just an overall, what's the word I'm looking for? Just like annoying. It was an annoying situation, the entire thing. And Another thing too that I think is really unfair in this situation for my boyfriend is like the whole like you need to stay longer, because the original reason why they wanted him to stay longer is because there was a particular component of the job that my boyfriend apparently was the only one who could do the work, because he's the only able-bodied person in the family. And like when he told me that, he's like, well, I'm the only one who can do it, so like they don't want me to leave because I need to finish this. And I'm like, you are doing them a favor, and a big one at that. You already have done a lot of work for them, period. And number 3, that is not your fault. That is not your problem that they are too big and unable to physically work on their houses by themselves. That is not your problem. That is not your fault. That is not your responsibility. And that's what I'm saying, like this whole, like, I think it's, in my opinion, if I'm in this situation, and my parents do this too sometimes, like family just does that, and these people grew up very different ways, they don't see it that way, but that's what it is, right? Like making it seem like, oh, but you have to help us because you're the only one, like making it, I don't know, just like, you know what I'm saying? Do you see what I'm saying? But yeah, it was just really frustrating. Another detail I forgot to mention is like the whole thing was always going to be like 2 weeks, and my boyfriend was like, no, like, and then they were like, okay, well then you can come for a week, and then my boyfriend was like, no. So it went down to 4 days, and that's why this whole situation about like trying to get him to extend his trip also just rubbed me the wrong way, because like you've known for very many months that he could only do these days, and that's all the time he was going to give you from the start, and that's it. Like, and then like at the last minute trying to pressure him to stay like that, don't do it. It's rude, it's annoying, it's unnecessary, and it leaves, like, that sucks for him. Like, now you've left a bad taste in your brother's mouth over this trip. And obviously, like, the thing is too, like, my boyfriend is very like patient, and he's never gonna say anything about it, but like to them, you know. But from my perspective, from an outsider's perspective, from somebody who's hearing this firsthand from him and like witnessing the whole situation firsthand, I'm just like, y'all need to chill. Like, I literally told him when he said he wanted to extend his trip, I had a little feeling in my soul that I was like, maybe he's gonna take a day and extend his trip so that he can do his own thing, right? Like, and do all these things that he wanted to do. And that's why I was like, yeah, if you want to stay longer, stay, but do it for yourself. Like, stay for your reasons, not for everybody else's reason. Do it for yourself. I think he deserves that. I don't know, there are a lot of factors at play here, and it just created a lot of extra shit for no reason, and that's what makes this an in-law horror story situation. And like I said, I say horror, but like, this is pretty not a big deal, but still, like, it's just frustrating. And I know this is only one, but like, once you put all the pieces together, it just gets heavy and it gets tiring. And maybe that's just the nature of in-laws, but I think that's everything for this situation. This family is just a lot, and families are all different. I come from a very different family. We're all very chill. We're all very, like, I don't know, different. And that is just part 1 of a very long series of my personal in-law isms, horror stories, situations. I don't even know what to call them. I'm trying not to be rude, but